Welcome back. All right, so this is the third part of our little using the TI Nspire CX2 series. This one, we're going to be looking at using the Navigator. So just a quick reintroduction of myself. My name is Patrick Moseley. I've been teaching math for 2 years at Permian High School. 15 years before that at Dessa High School. About to start my third year at Permian High School. So 18 years altogether here in just one more year. I've been married for 19 years, have 2 beautiful daughters, and I love watching movies, reading books, and I have several other hobbies that I like to pursue on occasion. All right, so let's get right into this. In this particular lesson, we're going to be looking at the Navigator. Then after that, we're going to look at sending and receiving documents, and then creating poll questions. And then following that, writing and enhancing lessons. So this is definitely one of those top tier lessons, if you will. All right, so let's get right into this. So the Navigator System, let me switch to full camera here. All right, so there's 2 parts to it. It is this tower thing right here. This is one of them. Now, there's actually a Wi-Fi Navigator system, but ECISD did not spend the money on that, those calculators. Instead, they got the tower version. So we have the tower. This little tower right here. This is going to connect right to your computer. So right here, there's a little USB port. So it'll connect to that. Here's your cable. Here's your cable. Connect it right in there. Just like that. And this other end goes right into your computer. All right, so once that happens, once you connect it, you'll have a couple green lights pop up on your screen and say, hey, you're ready to go. You're ready to rock and roll with this baby. So put that off to one side. The second part is this little piece right here. This piece right here goes right on to the top of your calculator. So remember the very first lesson, I told you that this little port right here, this is for the Navigator. So right here, you'll see a little piece right here that'll stick right into that. So you'll just click it right in. You hear like a little quiet snap. And then you're good to go. All right, so there you go. That's simply the way it goes. Also, there's like a little slot here. So if you still need to plug in a data cable, you can still do that. All right, so when I turn it on, let's see if it'll do it for me. Yeah, so I'm waiting for something to happen here. Okay, so, there it goes. All right, so the top corner here, you'll see some little flashing bars here. I don't know if you can see that real well. It looks like a little Wi-Fi symbol. All kinds of stuff happening here. This tells you that you're connected to the Navigator system. Okay, so that's how you know that you're connected. Another thing you can do is if you go to 5, you can go to let's see, your network. It's kind of hard to see. It's kind of blurring out here. Well, anyways, on here I have a network name, and so a lot of them are kind of defaulted a little bit, but you can see that mine actually has a name. You can actually change your name on your network. I put it on here, Moseley, Nspire, and I have my room number on there. So 126 was my classroom number last year, so that's why that's on there. If I switch classrooms, I change that to a new classroom number. So, it's something I do. You can name it whatever you want to. Mr. Dumbledore's major classroom or something, whatever you want to call it. Okay. All right. So once it's connected, you're good to go. All right. So that's the parts in a nutshell. All right. So moving on to the second thing, sending and receiving data. So let me minimize this. Pull up my Navigator. All right. So right now you can send whatever data you want to your calculators. One thing I like to do is get my students involved. So let me get right into some other details before I get into, sending and receiving data from your calculators. We want to get our class going. So right now, my Nspire training class, I'm going to hit begin. So once you have your classes in there, you're going to hit begin, pause, end, resume. There's different things you can click on. Let me end this real fast. Let me show you, kind of backtrack some more, kind of getting ahead of myself. You'll see on your software you have 4 choices. You should have 4 choices. If you only have 2 choices, that means you don't have the full Nspire software. So you need to make sure you get the full Nspire software in order for this to work properly. All right, so we want class and portfolio. This is the Navigator parts, some of the parts to this puzzle, if you will. So class right now, I have all these students in here. So if I needed to have students added in or delete students, I can do that at will. So let's see here. We're going to have Andy Barclay here. This is his ID number. So here's the thing. There's 2 ways of creating classes. The first way is to start off with a brand new class, and you can input students one at a time. The second way to do it is that you have a spreadsheet of your student names, and you can upload that spreadsheet right into the system. So let me click on these 3 people here. So upload a CSV file manually. There's 2 different ways. Now, if I was uploading a file, you would, of course, have to have it saved on here, some kind of CSV file. Let's see if I have one real fast. So I've recently cleared out my calculator, my computer, so I may not have anything on here. Let's see here. Yeah, apparently I messed it up. Well, that's what happens. All right, so anyways, let's try again. We'll try one more time here. Desktop. All right, so let me open this CSV file. All right, so this will give me an error. There's not enough data to file to create classes, whatever. So there's a really specific format you have to follow. It pretty much tells you right here. So be sure the file contains the following categories or headers: the class name, section name, and all that good stuff. So let me find one that I actually created. I know I have one in here. Let me look again. Click on the rosters. I think that's where I stuck it. So let's open up a 5th period so you can kind of see what it looks like. Actually, cancel that. All right, so yeah, let me just show you what it looks like here. Let's open this one up so because they're just all fake names. All right, so in my Nspire training, so right here I have my student names, ID, class name. So it doesn't matter the order you have these things in. But here's all my data. Now there's an easy way of creating this. There's a hard way of doing this. You can, in the old gradebook system that we had, it was a 2-step process to create this list. Really simple, really easy. I don't want to share that with you guys right now because we're going to a new gradebook system. Once I see how that's working, I can update this video, update a video to really show how this is done. But this is one of the easiest things. Once you have your class roster in a CSV file, which is Excel, you can open up an Excel document, and when you save it, after you have everything plugged in, you'll go to Browse, and right here you'll see Save As, and you can show CSV, delimited full file. There's 2 of them, so be careful. You just use the basic one right here. Okay, just the plain CSV file. All right, so let me cancel that. Do all this. So once you have that plugged in, I'll populate your list here. I can look at it as students, or I could look at it as a list here. All right, so let me go ahead and open up one of these students here. All right, so here's the neat thing. Students, when they log in on their calculators, there's actually a login thing that they'll go through. So let me go ahead and log in as Adrian Toombs here. So username, simply the ID number. That's what I have it set as. And the password is whatever they want it to be. So I tell them to use whatever they want to. So let's see if this will work. And if it doesn't work, then, okay, it says login failed. All right, so I'll reset the password. You can do that for your students if they forget their passwords. You can reset one or you can reset all of them. I know some teachers actually go through and they reset. I don't even have my class started, so that might be helpful if I did that. All right, so a good message on my calculator says login successful. I don't know if you can see that or not. Probably not, but that's okay. All right, so now I'm logged in to the calculator. The student is logged in. So now the fun really begins. And if I ever need to log in students, I can do that. Oh, by the way, let me switch views here. Notice that a couple of things happen. The student that is logged in becomes bold. See how the other ones are kind of dull looking. This one's a little bit brighter. So Toombs here is now logged in, and this person can get to work. All right, so that's some basic features of the Navigator system. So sending and receiving data. So I can send and receive data to these students. So how would I go about doing that? All right, so one way is this button right here, send to class. And if I had a file open, I could open up a file. And let's see if I have one available here. I don't think I do. Nope. Yeah, so if I had a file open, I could send it to that student and it would open up on their screen. They could go through that lesson on the screen and go from there. And I'll show you how to create some lessons, or you can utilize the lessons that are built into the TI website, which I showed you to the last one. And once they have finished it, you can actually receive it. To pull it back, once you send it, the file, then you'll get an option to resend it, to pull it back, to collect it from the class. So here's a button. I'll collect from the class, and it'll collect the data, and then you'll build a portfolio for those students. And you have an assignment list here. It'll build in the grades if you have them built in. Great system that there is there. All right, so the next thing I want to share with you guys is polling the class. So there's a couple ways of doing it. There's a quick poll system that we can do. So I'm going to do a quick poll here. It's going to be multiple. Let's do a true false. Well, actually, let's do a true false. Insert that. And I can actually send this out to my students. And they'll see this on the screen, this question. They can mark true or false. And I'm having an issue. So anyways, once they mark their answer as true or false, then it'll come back on here. It'll show me who's working, who's not working, and whatnot. So great system that you can utilize. Okay. All right. So for some reason my calculator dropped. No, there's some troubleshooting here I have to go through to get that back. weird. All right, so so I can't really show that with you guys. Sorry about that. All right, so moving on. All right, so once we have the question finalized, let's go back to my documents here. I can stop the poll once I have all of my information in. I can share with the students the data. It'll tell me, hey, this student did this, this student did that, all kinds of stuff. So lots of data there that we can utilize. Different question types that we can utilize in our polls. We can do a custom choice, A, B, C, D, yes, no, always, sometimes, never. Explanations, text match. We can actually have them create equations. If you have an image you want them to label, they can label an image. So you will put an image in here. So insert an image, and you can actually create more boxes in here. They have to go through and have to label the image. So if you had an equation that you want them to pull in, hey, what's the slope, what's the y-intercept, they can do that. What else? All right. All right. So the next thing I want to share with you guys is, creating actual lessons. So, so this is what I do. I can take an actual worksheet. I can convert it to a very usable document here. So I'm going to start off with the add notes page. I can title this, name it like graphing stars. And then I would add some instructions, maybe tell them how many questions they have, point worth, whatever information you want to give to your students. All kinds of information you can utilize, okay? All right, so next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add another page. Maybe I want to add a graph. Maybe I'll add a graph that I need to manipulate, whatever. Let's say I want to add some questions. So now I'm going to add a question here. Let's say I want them to, okay, what's the best equation that they would have to input into that? Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I totally messed that up, didn't I? All right. Luckily, I have it down here. There we go. All right, so yeah, here it is. All right, so I'll go up here. I'm going to add another page, insert, this time a question. And maybe on this one, I want them to insert an equation. We'll type in their equation. Now, you say, oh, that's great. Now, how do I make sure it's right or wrong? So here's a little tool section here. I can make it so that, maybe that's the only answer they can have. Maybe I want to have multiple answers in here that they can utilize. There's a few other things that you can do to have some choices here. Let's say I want to have another possible choice, maybe 1x, for instance. I'll take that. That would do the same thing. Stuff like that. Okay. So there's that. I can put as many questions as I want to. The only thing is it automatically gives it a point scale. So it'll automatically calculate how many points each question is worth when you add them up. So if you only add 10 questions in here, it'll 10 points for each question. If you have 8 questions in here, then it will give you that decimal answer for answers. So all kinds of stuff you can have. Then once you have your document built, you can send it right to your students. So here's all my students. I'll send it to them. And so once they're logged in, they'll get these questions. They'll answer them. Once they're done, so here's my document. Once they're done, I will collect it. But right now there's nothing there to collect, so it's not going to collect it. Let's see. There we go. And it's collected all the documents. Okay, so it shows me all the students are collected. And then I can go and review. Look at the portfolio. But again, there's no data here, so that's why nothing's showing up. If there was some actual data here, then all that would show up, and you will see, who got what right, who got what wrong, stuff like that. Okay, I can go back, I can review the questions, I can share that with the students, and all kinds of good stuff. I can even see what's on student calculator. So let's do this. I want to show you one more thing here before I close this out. This is called a screen capture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to capture the class, and I'm just going to choose the ones that are logged in. So right now it says I have a connection error with Adrian Toombs here, which I didn't resolve earlier. So otherwise I'd be able to see exactly what's on the screen, and I can even do all kinds of stuff. I can make that person a presenter of the class. If they had some information in here that was really neat, they could actually present to the class their information. So all kinds of neat stuff you can do. All right, so that's just a quick little overview of the Navigator system. Best thing to do is explore, ask questions. If you guys do have questions, feel free to email me at patrick.moseley@edgecountyisd.org. All right, guys, good luck. Have fun with the Navigators. You and your students can do it. Good luck.